The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, because you could be watching this at any time of the day. It is your boy Ryan from Healthy Him, back with your favorite co-host,
Dwayne Savvy, prevention training specialist from the Networks program. Get into it today, y'all.
Okay, and did y'all see that new intro? We got a new intro, y'all. Okay, shout out to our production. We just want to thank, Pyro Media Network for always being here for us, APLA Health for overseeing us, and CDC for giving us the money to be here for you, hunty. Okay,
and we love this little black silky
We
thing
do. We love all the updates.
Okay.
So we are here, black and queer.
She's a rapper.
Okay, always bars for days. But you guys, we kind of have a surprise for you today. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I think they're ready. Welcome to the new rendition of the link, now known as Healthy Him. We have our new person, Kaylin over here to your left, or my left.
Hi, Kaylin.
Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Yes. Hey, Kaylin. So what do you do here at APLA?
So here at APLA, I'm a prevention training specialist for linkages to care. So for those of y'all who got HIV, you need to get in, call me.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are positive and you are not in care, or you haven't been in care for a while, Kaylin is here.
Okay.
Okay, and that's period. So now today we have the special, wonderful guest of ours, Martinez Sellers, AMFT. We are talking about Black queer men and therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy ain't for us, so they say.
So they say. I'm in therapy, okay? I do that.
But how are you guys feeling before we welcome in our guest? One moment.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, I got some therapy every now and again.
She's
a little crazy.
A little.
How are you feeling, Mrs. Abid?
I'm feeling good, feeling great, feeling good.
Okay.
I think, I don't know, therapy, I've always thought therapy is for us. As much as people try to say, oh, like therapy's for white people and things like that. But we're gonna get into that a little later. How about you, Mr. Ryan D?
I am feeling a little Gemini today. A lot of my, colleagues have noticed my demeanor today has been a little Gemini. She's
been real stank. She's been really sharp.
I woke up today feeling a little, but it's okay because I'm like,
it's
it is what it is.
We're working through it. It's not okay, but it's all right.
But yeah, exactly. We're still living. We're having a good time. I'm in a decent mood. I'm gonna be honest. I'm in a decent mood. But we are good.
If this is decent, I would hate to see it like not okay.
I cannot. But as you know, I currently run the initiative Swab and Chill for Healthy Him, and that is a at-home HIV testing that we do. So if you guys ever want to get tested in the comfort of your own home, just contact me at swabandchill@apla.org. It's right there. There you go. Or contact that number. It's all down. Wiping across the screen. You see it.
But if you're bored and you ain't got nothing to do and you just want to get out the house, you can also come to our new sexual health clinic called Out Here, powered by APLA. And you can come see me. And I'll give you a nice little finger prick and get your results faster than 20 to 30 minutes.
I cannot. But also, with the help out here at clinic, we do STI testing for Healthy Him. So if you get STI testing and HIV testing with us, you get $50. So just do that and get $50 with us. So go ahead. Michaela, so what about you? Linkage to Care.
So after you go and see Dwayne or Ryan, if your test comes back positive, then you can come and see the one and only.
Okay.
And I will definitely hook you up as far as making sure you get everything you need for care. So medication, a doctor, I got you.
Yes. And then we also have our PrEP and PEP services as well. So if you need that, we are all here for you because we all deal with that.
Absolutely.
So yes,
and some of us are actually on PrEP. So if you have any questions or concerns or need like some real life experience on, you know, how it affects us, you know, we're here for that as well.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. So those are for the individuals who are HIV negative and, you know, just want to be safe. That's that. PEP is for when you've been exposed and you have about 72 hours, I believe. 72 hours.
In LA, anyway. If you're anywhere else, like New York, I believe it's 48 hours.
Oh, okay. Period. And let's talk about our groups. So on Tuesdays, our groups.
Come on, group.
He always talking about, y'all, I'm from Baltimore, so I have my Baltimore accent come out sometimes.
I'm not sure you're trying to speak all fancy and things like, I'm from Baltimore.
Because I knew you was going to talk about it. I knew you was going to talk about it. So anyway, let's talk about our activities that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can take Tuesday.
Yeah. I will. Okay, so we do hip hop classes on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7. Now that is tentative. We might change the time just because we understand that people have jobs and things. You know, break it on down. But we understand that people have jobs, so we might shift that time from 5:30 to 7 to maybe like 6 to 8, or maybe like 6:30 to 8, somewhere around there. And then do you want to take Thursdays?
Yes. On Thursday, darling, we have our BQT, Black Queer Talk. So we talk about everything between love. Yes. We talk about everything between love, sex, relationships, and everything in between, that we just have a safe space for us as Black queer men between the ages of 18 and 39, because that's our demographic for Healthy Him. And yeah, it's honestly like the best thing ever. Last night we had a great turn out when we did it last.
You don't sound too sure.
Yeah, you know, because I was trying to think about it, and I was like, yeah, it was a good turnout. But
I thought it was great. Amazing. Right. Like we and Kayla had a good time. Where was you at?
Yeah. But the thing is, child, don't do it. Yes, Black Queer Talks we do every Thursday from 5:30 to 7 as well. But now we're trying to change it because people be getting off of work, and sometimes people are tired. So we're like, okay, 6, maybe 6:30 to 8:30 ish, and that's been going pretty well for us now since people are now getting off of work and having time to come and actually talk. But yeah, last time it was great. It was amazing. So
it was beautiful.
I
loved it. What did we talk about? Just real briefly. What was we getting into?
We talk about so many different things. Last night our topic was preference and stereotypes, but we've done open relationships and situationships. If you guys seen our previous episodes of the link that we talked about, we've also done, what else do we do? Oh my gosh, we've done a lot, I feel like. But I think next week we're going to talk about kinks. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
That should be fun. But yeah, anything else anybody want to add?
Kaylin, you got anything coming up?
For me, not too much coming up, but if you would love to come and see me, then please let your friends know, let your family know, anybody who need it. Okay. Because HIV is going around getting everybody.
Okay.
Nobody's exempt.
And you're also running groups, correct?
Yes, I also will be running groups for HIV positive individuals, giving them all the tea, all the cookies, everything that they gonna need.
Come on, tea and cookies.
Because trying to navigate this healthcare system is too much, darling.
Yes, okay.
Especially when insurance, y'all.
Girl, don't get started on
bills
insurance.
Whatever. But anyway, that's it for us on the updates.
So now welcome the guest.
Yes, let's bring him in.
Let's bring in the guest. Hello.
How are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
Wonderful. Listen, you guys always have so many amazing programs, and thank you for this amazing invite. I have not been over there since the pandemic hit. I used to be a regular over there.
You gotta come visit us.
I definitely do. I definitely do. Keep doing the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
It is so needed, especially in our Black and Brown communities where we still do not want to talk about HIV and AIDS and therapy. There's still a huge stigma on both ends. And until we fight and stop the stinking thinking, we'll never get better as a community.
I love that stinking thinking. That's
exactly.
Well, you know, you've been around the org for a little bit, but for those who have never seen you before, for our new viewers, for the people who are just tuning in, tell us a little about yourself, Mr. Martinez.
Yes. Well, everyone calls me Marty Sellers. I am a marriage and family therapist, and I have my own private practice here in the Inland Empire, and we are not a distant country from Los Angeles. And there is life past the 605. But part of my desire to go into therapy is really about the discussion today is therapy for Black people. And I'm talking about all walks, from the cisgender male to the Black, gay, same gender loving man, woman, whatever. Therapy is for everyone. And my goal is to help change the narrative of what therapy is. And for me as a therapist, my job is not to tell you what to do, what not to do, what relationship to stay in, what relation not to stay in. My job is just to help identify patterns in your life, and if you like living in the same pattern or not. The choice is 100% yours, not mine.
That's true.
Yes, it's yours. And so my job is just to help you to make goals. Let's look at some of these goals. Let's identify what's triggering you from accomplishing these goals. What do we need to change? And I'm just there as your life coach, just to support you along your journey.
I love that.
So, Mr. Marty, what is mental health to you, and why do you feel like it is so important to be aware of?
Mental health. What does it mean to me?
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
Oh, wow. Mental health is something that is imperative to my own existence. And that's me as an individual. Growing up in a very much domestic violent household, and for 16 years I saw and witnessed domestic violence, and no one ever we recognized it, but we never said, hell, this young man is suffering from post-traumatic stress. He does not even know how to be comfortable in his own skin, in his own home. So if I cannot find peace at home, where do I find it? And a lot of us are seeking peace and refuge in so many other areas because we have not been reaffirmed within ourselves first. So for me, mental health is all about who I am. I do not exist without my mental sanity, period. I can't exist without my mental sanity. Now, some days I'm a Libra, since we were throwing out all these signs here. Somebody was feeling themselves.
Fellow air sign. I love that.
So for me, balance is so necessary. And oftentimes we find, if I'm going to the Libra, my scales are tilted, often in the wrong direction. And so when I'm not balanced, my whole zen is off. And so I start recognizing patterns with not only within myself, but I start listening to my body. I start listening to my emotions more. Now, that doesn't mean I have to respond to them. I listen to them and say, is this a right emotion for what I'm feeling for this situation? And is my response a right response to this as well? Or am I transferring a lot of other things on someone else who doesn't deserve it? And as a result, when I was y'all age, young, baby, I'm 2 weeks younger than Jesus, and I went to school with John the Baptist, but that's all.
Well, you certainly don't look it. Okay?
Listen, bless your heart. Look,
great.
Sleep and water.
Okay. Tell us the secrets.
And keeping your mental sanity.
Okay.
I learned as a result, I did not have to look to others to satisfy me. And I had to learn to look in the mirror and say, listen, Marty, I love you. You are all right. You are more than enough. Right, wrong, indifferent, flaws, and all. And that was the beginning of my embarking on my journey. Now, I didn't discover that till I was in my 40s. So don't be in your 40s discovering that.
You know, hey, sometimes it's a rediscovery. You know, sometimes we go through life and we hit the wall and we're like, oh, okay, you know,
yes.
let me fix this. And then, you know, somewhere along the lines, consistency is a hard thing for people.
It is. It is, because many of us have learned behaviors and learned patterns,
right?
That we learned from our families. Because one of my questions I always ask, especially when I was at APLA doing Monday therapy, they know I was there from about 1 to about 9 at night till Dante kicked us out.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm in the middle of a deep session and you talk about leaving. Let's go. They can come back next week. But we love Dr. Morrison. Excuse me.
Oh, right. Okay.
Dr.
Well,
Morrison.
hard for that
okay.
one.
Yes. Yeah. And listen, it's earned and not honorary. There's a difference. He got the bill to pay for it. Oftentimes we have to learn how to, I'll ask, who are you? And I'll shut up. And people tell me their name. I say, I know your name. I can read. I know your birth date. I can read. But who are you? And so that began the journey to discovering why therapy is for us. Because many of us do not understand who we are. And don't understand why we're wired the way we're wired. Because if I can understand those two things, I then start to flow everything in my life through that trajectory, through that vantage point and that viewpoint. Because when I understand who I am and I understand how I'm wired, not everyone can step to me and I will accept you.
I know that's right.
Because when we look at it, we've allowed people into our lives that should not have been within 10 miles of us because we were not mentally sane.
Right.
And then as you got just halfway well, not even fully well, halfway well, you said, I must have been crazy to allow you to get this close to me in my life. And
Absolutely.
Now that I'm sane, I'm giving you the gift of goodbye.
Okay, I got a couple exes like that. I didn't give a few people that gift.
Okay. Most definitely. But yes, so that's what mental health is to me, because I knew I needed help. I knew that true love and right love was not modeled before me.
Absolutely.
And until I got that, I was not going to be able to demonstrate love to my partner, to my children, or anything else in my career, because I had not learned how to love myself, because the model of love that I had experienced for over 17 years of my life was one of hurt. And love should not physically hurt. It might hurt emotionally, but it should not cause bruises, black eyes, or broken bones.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yes. Okay, I'm loving what you guys are doing, and this, y'all came on here real grand. I was like, Dante, this grandeur, I love it.
I mean, he hired us for a reason. We have big smiles and even bigger personalities. Okay.
Yes, that's what we need in order to draw the necessary people to say it's okay. And sometimes we those of us who have big personality, I knew how to hide my hurt in my personality. I knew how to hide my hurt in my success.
All right, excuse me, I'm gonna leave.
but that's what we do, especially as Black men. I'm saying that
absolutely.
And I'm painting with a broad paintbrush right now. As Black men, whether we are straight, bisexual, same gender, whatever definition, as Black men, because we were told, shut up, man up. So we already have these mis and toxic definitions of just being a Black man. We want to talk about masculinity, lack of masculinity, femininity, all of that. Just being a Black man, you are already judged by society, and you're not supposed to have emotions or express emotions. And how do I live with that? Because now if I'm taught not to be me, then who am I?
Right. That part. Well, speaking of, what are some warning signs for mental health to you?
Some warning signs of mental health. That's a good
mental health.
For mental health. Okay.
Poor.
Oh,
don't be I'm poor.
Yes. Poor mental health. That's a great question. That is. I think there's multiple signs.
Right. It definitely comes in various ways.
It does. It does. It comes in various ways, various factors. I think one of an indicator of that is a depraved mindset.
Okay.
So what do you mean? Because I know you just talked about how, as Black men, we're not allowed to like express our emotions and things like that. Or growing up, we're told not to. We're told to, man up and things like that. So I know that's probably one of the ones that you were speaking about. But are there any other ones that are not so, common that we may do that may not even be aware of?
Yes. Depression and anxiety show up differently in men than most women. And again, I'm painting with a broad stroke here. What I'm saying is, for many of us, when I see an angry man or an irritated man or easily agitated man or one who goes from 0 to 10 like that, my first thought is, not only what's bothering you, but more importantly, what's causing you to be in this deep depression. Because one of the symptoms of depression, which this is why finding the right therapist who understands us is so good. Oppositional ODD, oppositional disruptive disorder, anyway, oppositional defiance disorder. That
yes,
ODD, and anger can mirror themselves, and too many Black men have been labeled as oppositional and conduct, which is definitely more severe than depression. So if I have if I'm diagnosed wrong, and then I believe the lie, and then I allow them to put me on the wrong medication because I have the wrong diagnosis, it's just going to send me spiraling in a whole different, because I'm triggering the wrong part of my brain. That's why it's so important that I hear your story.
Absolutely.
I get an understanding of not only who you are, but what things were modeled before you that you have embraced within yourself.
And that makes sense too.
Deep. Okay.
That's not deep. Right. But it's so important. Too many of us have been mislabeled and misdiagnosed. And then sometimes our parents, because we don't know better, we already have this historical mistrust of the medical system anyway.
Absolutely.
And I think that also pairs in line with why we are so afraid to talk about HIV and AIDS in our community. Because then that also stems around medicine. And if I go back, our parents still remember the Tuskegee experiments.
Absolutely.
Yes, and some of these other things. And we also know that psychologically, they did experiments on us. We know in the psychological and medical world, they would have women give birth to children without giving them any type of anesthesia or help or anything like this, or do surgeries on us without giving us any anesthesia, because we were Black people. So all of that plays in the historical context of why we don't believe in medicine, which affects us on the HIV and AIDS side, and why we don't believe in therapy, which affects us on the mental health side. And I believe if we get our mental health right, our body has to come alongside and follow what we think. You almost made me go to church. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Okay. Come on. We have another question for you. You want to take it away, Kaylin?
Yes.
Why do you feel that mental health has been stigmatized as a white thing?
Because we have not been given privy to opportunities. And when we look at it, me as a Black male therapist, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, 2% of the field. as a Black male therapist, 2% of the field. I saw that look like, we're recording live. How dare you?
Yes.
It happens all the time. But by the same token, if I have people who find me and says, oh my God, I've been looking for a year for you. If we don't have not that we don't have the means, but if we don't know how to navigate through the system, that's one thing. And then the second thing, we always thought therapy was not affordable, in those regards, because now don't get me wrong. Sometimes our rates can appear to be drastic and a lot. I ain't gonna pay you $150 for an hour session. I just go, well, maybe you paid $50 for the weed. You paid another $100 for the bottle. Then for the outfit that you bought on discount at Slauson, and so you did.
At the Slauson,
and then you made it rain and all that. Now, so if you take all that money back and redirect it, you have more than my rate. You done paid me for a whole month and a week.
And I think that is so funny because some of those things that you mentioned, like the weed and the bottle, some of those things are like subconscious and subliminal coping mechanisms, and I think that is so funny that you mentioned that because if they actually took that away, they'd probably be like, if I gave that to you, then I wouldn't have that for my stuff, and I need that. But you really need therapy.
But you're absolutely right. Depending upon the severity of the diagnosis, those are temporary coping skills, because now I can numb myself. I can numb myself from the pain. I can numb myself from having to deal with the elephant that's in the room and escape temporarily.
Escapism is really high.
We love to escape.
Okay.
The fight, flight, fawn, or fold category. What we always do. And that's what we do. And in the fight, it's not necessarily a physical fight that we do. We can hide it by fighting, by being the perfectionist. We can hide it by fighting, by becoming the workaholic or over involved in doing community activities or anything like that, where we then escape and hide that actual problem because, we think that we're really dealing with it when we're really not. We're just masking it. And we know how to put on a mask, especially in the Black community. And then if we're in same gender loving relationship, you're like, okay, I'm about to walk in the hood, so we got to act hard. What's up? Yeah, okay. Don't I got this. Then you're like, hey, what's going on? We know how to put on the mask in order to go into survival mode and to make it every day.
Okay. Speaking of survival mode, let's talk about post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Oh,
do you feel it's real? Can you expound upon that?
Yes, it's real. It's definitely real. I believe that's real because there's generational things that we've done.
Okay, so you do believe generational depression and anxiety is real as well?
Oh, there's enough studies to speak on that. Yes, and it's very real. I was with one of my Caucasian clients.
Okay.
and listen, let me tell you guys something. You better find we Black male therapists because the white folk is finding us and wanting us because they want to.
What can you do for us? What can you do for us without the experience? What can you really do for us?
Yes.
What do you want to do for us?
Right. But they understand the magnitude of our culture and the contributions that we've made to society. So they don't want the stalemate version of therapy. Because I'm like, listen, are we going to deal with the elephant in the room or what? Now I'm going to drink my coffee and I'm going to look at you. Are you done? Now let's deal with the real issue. But what I say is yes, because as I was dealing with my Caucasian client, she was talking about her anxiety. I'm like, she said, yeah, my mom was nervous. I'm like, wait. Well, how long has you? Well, she's been nervous all her life, but my grandmother was there too. And so we were able to trace the anxiety 4 generations back because of the trauma that each one experienced. And so they taught their daughters how to be anxious, while the men taught their sons how to be overbearing and abusive.
Absolutely. That is definitely a commonality, a commonality that I've seen in my own life personally,
Yes.
but also in the Black community
as a whole.
Most definitely.
So I want to just thank you for that whole explanation, because that was amazing. We're gonna take a brief pause,
Commercial break.
With Marty, and we'll see you after this next Swab and Chill commercial.
Yes.
Are you in need of a quick and easy way to know your HIV status? Swab and Chill is a discreet way to learn your status in the comfort of your own home. The process gives you results in 20 minutes. Swab the upper gums, swab the lower gums, and voila! Simply follow the colorful step-by-step instructions located inside the kit. Or call APLA and we can assist you virtually. In addition, all kits include condoms and lube for that penetrative fun. For our trans clients, we have Swab and Chill Plus, a customizable kit for trans-specific needs. And we haven't forgotten about COVID either. All kits include personal protection gear, like face masks, comfortable yet stylish. A personal touch tool for dealing with those germ-infested handles and ATM keypads. Wet wipes for those little messes that need cleaning up. Also, keep that summer body protected with Swab and Chill sunscreen. And don't forget about our fanny packs for those quick trips to the store. All this can be yours. Simply call Swab and Chill at 323-329-9713 or email us at swabandchill@apla.org. We would love for you to be part of our Swab and Chill family.
Come Swab and Chill with us!
This new theme song.
And we are back. We are back. Yes, I do like this update. I love this whole Healthy Him update. It's everything. Thank you, Kwame. We are back with our guest, Martina Sellers. Thank you for being on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And you want to take it away, Kaylin?
Of course. So we have some more questions for you.
Okay. So Marty from the IE.
Yes. There's life out here. Y'all need to come out here.
Hey, we will. Is that an invitation?
Okay.
Always an invite. Come on. We can shoot the show next from here.
Yes.
Okay.
So my question is, what mental health challenges have you seen that specifically affect gay Black men as opposed to their heterosexual counterparts?
Good question. I was going two different routes. One of the challenges I think that I've seen in gay Black men is self-love.
Come on, somebody.
Because when you've been taught that, one, you're not loved and what your life is now a sin, if not an abomination. How do you find love in what everyone else is condemning and pointing the finger at?
Sex. You find less, you don't find love.
Yes, right. Exactly. That becomes our coping skill.
Yeah, all physical.
All physical. even if that for that moment. We I think Luther becomes our anthem too much, if only for one night. And it's almost like I'm wearing the scarlet letter.
Definitely.
Yes, openly and inwardly. It's impressed upon our heart. It's impressed upon our mind, and it's almost like I have to wear it on all of my clothing articles as well. So what do? We push the button. Since you're going to label me as this, let me just throw it in your face.
Absolutely.
If you're not going to if you're going to make me uncomfortable, I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as well. Those are all self-hatred type of things that we do. And so one of the things I think that I've noticed is helping us to embrace who we are and loving ourselves for all the wonderful things that we do. If I were to put this, so you guys make me go a direction I did. If we put it in the context of because many of though in same-sex loving community come out of the church. And that's the only thing that we look at, who you're sleeping at versus anything else, who you're sleeping with versus anything else. And we all know that's a whole nother topic when we're talking about church and homosexuality, of how many clients I have sitting on my office couch in here, and even in the IE, who are in secret relationships with their pastors or ministers. And getting past that. And so that beats on the psyche as well. So we have a whole nother show to talk about that. I'll let I'll let Dr. Morrison handle that one.
Hello, we will see you next month.
But learning to love ourselves, one of the mantras I say, and my book, shameless plug, that's coming.
Okay, you better bring it in.
Stop the Stinking Thinking. Yes. So this is my what is this? My journal, but it's 31 days, 30 days of affirmation. And day one starts with, I am enough. I, Martinez Sellers, am enough. And it's so vital that you put your name in there. But if I just say I am enough, I'll say, well, Ryan, you meant Ryan is enough, or you meant Dwayne is enough, or you meant Kayla. No. When I say I, Martinez Sellers, am enough, now I begin to speak life into myself and create new neurological pathways in which I then change my stinking thinking in going from the wrong direction and taking it from the dumpster and putting it in Bel Air, putting it in Pacific Palisades, putting it in a place where you can no longer touch it, because I'm now changing not only the way that I think, the way that I believe, which impacts the way that I now act.
Okay,
you take us to church. Take us to church. Yes.
Y'all are funny. I love it. But it starts with the mind. It really does. And listen, we have to stop waiting for other people to validate us in our mind. Listen, start validating yourself. Y'all got me at church. The Bible says David had to encourage himself. Encourage yourself, Ryan. Encourage yourself, Brother Dwayne. Encourage yourself, Kaylin. I am enough. I, Dwayne, am enough. I, Ryan, Kaylin, am enough. Not only am I enough, I'm more than enough.
Okay, that's the one that I say.
Right. And as you begin to do that, as you begin to think it, around 20, 21 days, something kicks into you, like you start to believe it. And then as you start to believe it, you're going to start to live it. And as you're living it, you're like, you can't come in this. This is my space. Boundaries. Yes. You can't come into my space unless I allow you to. And based upon what I see from you and what I've heard and what you continue to demonstrate in your negative patterns, you're not good enough to come into my space. Thank you, but goodbye. I see you from across the street, but goodbye.
Come on.
You are just woo! Marty, you was dropping the gems, okay? You was laying that, straight, no chaser, and we love it. Okay. Now, as we mentioned earlier, there are not a lot of, right. I had to lay down because it's a very sensitive topic. But there's not a lot of like a Black therapist. So how can a Black gay man access therapists that reflect like themselves,
like yourself?
Yeah, there's lots of ways. I think it's just like you're doing education to the community. I believe that I have to do education to our community as well. And we need to somehow find some times that as you're going out in the community, that we find Black therapists, Black male therapists to come alongside you all as well and say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. A couple different things. Psychology Today. .com. You can look in that, and there you get to see the picture, the profile, everything. Setting up free consultation. Therapy for Black men. Love that one. That's where I get a lot of my referrals from. Therapy for Black men.
Okay. Yep.
And Therapy for Black men right now also has free grants for those Black men who may not be able to afford it, that they will pay for so many sessions.
We love a good grant here.
Okay.
Listen, don't we all? Don't we all? And then I would even say those who maybe have experienced some sort of violence or been a victim of crime or something. There is Victims of Crime, which is a state funding, and then you can find a therapist with who also accepts victims of crime, and they will pay for 40 sessions for you.
That's great.
40 sessions.
That's a lot of sessions.
That's a lot, almost a full year at $150 per session. You do the math.
Okay.
Which
and
is
if you really want to spread it out, make that bi-weekly, y'all.
Exactly, because we know that several of in the Black gay community, they have been victims of crime, hate crimes, and those type of things. All you need is a police report or some sort of report from a social services officer or something like that, and that there qualifies you to be almost 100% approved for a Victims of Crime grant for mental health services.
That's amazing. So how do you feel about BetterHelp? I've heard so much about BetterHelp. They have everything, like all these advertisements everywhere. So what is your viewpoint personally on this BetterHelp?
It's the lip tuck for me. I feel like something's coming.
I want to know.
No, you know what? BetterHelp is doing what it needs to do. And it's a third party agent that promotes other therapists. What I'll put it on my business hat now as an entrepreneur. BetterHelp does no good for me because they're getting a large portion of it, and they don't want to accept any responsibility if anything happens to that client. So all of that falls back on the therapist. Is it great because someone was able to pour millions of dollars to say, hey, let's do, and I know some of my friends are on BetterHelp. I think it's great for them. It's not great for me. That's just but if you find someone on BetterHelp that works with you and for you, wonderful. My thought is, as long as you're getting the help and it works for you, that's amazing. BetterHelp is not for me. That's not how my business brand is modeled, but it definitely works for those who get it, and it's definitely more of a short-term therapeutic type of thing. But I think most of in our Black gay communities, there's a lot of post-traumatic stress, and with post-traumatic stress, that's not a quick fix. That can take. I have a post-traumatic stress client that I've been seeing for 3 years. And we discovered more and more, and he and I color and drink soda during our session. That's how he opens up. And so I got lots of coloring books right here.
I love coloring.
It's about meeting you at your level to be. So let me explain what therapy is supposed to be. A very safe space, a no judgment zone, where I can say anything and not be judged. That I might have questions, but I should not be overly shocked or surprised. Have I cried with some of my patients? I've cried with some of you at APLA. And they said, well, you can't handle it. I said, no, I can handle it. I'm mourning with you.
Right, exactly.
To show the empathy that I have for your situation and what you've gone through.
Exactly.
Now let's build from there. It's a trust. And just like we do build this bond, a professional bond, but it is a bond nonetheless. And if you feel that you cannot trust your therapist, then that's a red flag. It's saying there's something missing. So just like you find your primary care, sometimes we go through 2, 3, 5 different primary care till you find the one that's right for you. My primary care had the nerve to tell me I'm about to retire. I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm coming to your house to do this because it took me 20 years to break you in. So I'm not breaking another primary care. Please, are you crazy? But finding the right therapist that is empathetic. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a gay therapist. It doesn't have to be a gay male. It doesn't have to be a male. It could be a female. It could even be our Caucasian counterparts.
No, sir.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I mean, if it works for the person.
Yes, exactly. So you're saying it can't for me, and that's true.
Yeah.
There's some of my professional folk that come in, some of my friends, and they'll say, well, I need a therapist. I'm like, no, you're going to need a psychologist because you're already an executive you need someone that has matriculated a little bit higher than the typical therapist. In that now can talk your language and lingo. So you're going to find that therapist. There are some ratchet therapists out there, and I got some friends who are the ratchet therapists. I
love a good ratchet therapist.
Right, and that works for some of them.
With me.
Right. And y'all can drink tea and cookies and crumpets all day long. That's not my personal style. Now I'll get down with you, but I'm not going to be ratchet. That's just Marty. I'm like, no, you need to come on up a little bit higher. But so finding that therapist. So there are definitely things out there. Keep asking. If nothing else, ask you guys, how can I get a referral? Who do you know? If nothing else, ask. A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
That's true. Okay.
Yes.
What?
Yes. So those are my methods that I suggest to people. Okay, Kaylin, you're leaning forward. I see this question.
Okay. Look, he's prepped and prepared, ready to go.
So for our closing question for you, what advice would you give Black gay men who fears going to therapy? Because I know I had my own issues when attempting to go to get therapy, because it was always the back and forth between the parents. This, don't do this. What goes on in my house stays in my house. So it put a real damper on me. So what advice could you give?
Got you. I would say, one, for those who are under 18, one, let me say it, and I'm dancing on a very fine ethical line here. You don't need your parents' permission to go to therapy. If you find yourself in that mode, you can ask to be viewed as a independent and emancipated person for your therapeutic rights. And even in that regards, the child is my client, not the parent. The parent may be paying the bills, but the child also has client privileges as well that I can't. And I tell parents all the time, I will not disclose anything that your child tells me unless they give me permission. And the only thing you're going to get from me is they are actively participating in therapy or they're not actively participating in therapy. But what we talk about in therapy is between me and them. Now, with child therapy, I insist upon at least once a month family therapy, because it does me no good to do child therapy and not address the family as well.
Ooh, that could be the tricky part, right?
Okay.
Oh, half the time it's not them, it's the parents.
Exactly.
So to answer your question, Galen, it really is about finding the right one. And sharing your apprehensions. I don't necessarily trust you. I don't like this. This is my first time. I don't know what to expect. This is what my experience has been in the past. I ask those questions. I ask, have you been to therapy? What was it like for you? What did you like? What didn't you like? Because all of that starts to create the framework in which and how I address you and meet your needs. Because those are equally as important. So, Kaden, I might ask, well, what do you want from these sessions? And I would tell you, if I do anything knowingly and unknowingly that triggers you, challenge me, because I'm not perfect. I need you to challenge me. I need you to say, listen, you messed that right up. I didn't say that. You need to listen again. I'm like, oh, my bad. Let's do it again. Let's go again. But creating that rapport, ask the therapist for a free consultation so that you can see if your personalities vibe as well. You can do that free of charge.
Okay, period. Because I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You test drive a car before you buy it.
That's true.
I sure did.
And too many of us are test driving relationships before we get into them anyway. So,
you gotta say that.
I'm sorry.
You good.
Somebody needed to hear.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, but definitely ask. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. One of my mantras is we have to speak up, speak out, and live.
I know that's right.
Speak up for yourself. Yeah. Speak out about your situation so that you find the strength and power to live your life.
Okay. Come on, Marty. Marty, we just want to thank you so much again for being here with us today and sharing all your knowledge and wisdom. We love it. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me back. I miss Healthy Him, and you guys have been such an instrumental truth in growing me as a therapist. And I cannot thank the organization specifically Healthy Him, Dante, enough for giving me the opportunity to work alongside of you. And he and I were just talking about how can we rekindle this relationship back together again. So I'm planning.
Okay, because we miss you, Marty.
I miss you guys too. Listen, if you have something live or something, invite me. I'll be there. You know, I'll drop anything for you guys because I believe in what you're doing and the work that you guys are doing and helping so many young Black gay men.
Yes, thank you. As you all know, viewers-wise, you can follow us at Healthy Him on Instagram and the networks at.
And you can follow us at thenetworks.apla. That is at thenetworks.apla.
And where can we find you, Marty?
I am at Mental Health Marty. Everything mental_health_Marty and mentalhealthmarty.com.
Okay. And we already know that we can get HIV testing from either Healthy Him and STI testing from Out Here Clinic with us, and also HIV testing with you.
With Beyonce, aka Dwayne Savit.
I cannot.
Okay.
I'm Kelly. I'm always Kelly. Let the rest determine what it is. We also want to.
Kelly is actually my favorite.
Kelly, Kelly's my favorite too, but I like to.
Anyways. As you know, we also offer PrEP and PEP for those who are interested, and linkage to care, as Kaylin said, and promote our groups. We got to talk about our Tuesday and Thursday one more time.
Yes.
Stop talking about my accent.
I love it.
So on Tuesdays, we have hip hop with Dwayne, who is teaching every Tuesday, a new dance every Tuesday.
Okay.
Then Thursday, we have BQT, Black Queer Talk. So we talk about sex, love, relationships, and everything in between. Okay. So thanks for having us, and thanks for being here again, Marty. It's Ryan
Dwayne Savit
and Caitlin
saying bye.